you know that there's a group in the US that pays politicians to do what they want? It's called AIPAC, and here's how they do it. It starts with something called lobbying. Lobbying is when a group tries to influence politicians, usually by donating money to their campaigns. AIPAC is an interest group based from Washington that gives money to politicians to help with their campaigns. Sounds normal and simple, right? The catch is, they aren't funding these politicians to help Americans, or everyday people, or even the politicians. They're funding them to push their own agenda. Today, I'm breaking down how AIPAC buys influence over our American politicians and what we need to do to stop it. I've done weeks of research, and what I found was really surprising. First, I'll talk about AIPAC's power. Then, I'll talk about how they use their money. And lastly, I'll talk about how we can fix it. To understand the problem, you need to know what AIPAC is and how powerful they are. Two men named Mearsheimer and Walt found that AIPAC has a $67 million yearly budget, and 2/3 of Congress shows up to their conference every single year. This kind of influence means that they can push politicians in whatever way that they want, and that's exactly what they do. A good example of this influence is when a former AIPAC official once bragged that he could get 70 Senate signatures on one napkin in 24 hours. That's not influence, it's control, and we can see it play out in real policy. AIPAC influenced our politicians so much in 2015 that 58 out of 60 needed senators voted to kill Obama's nuclear deal with Iran. This deal was so important because it kept their weapons supervised, their nuclear weapons and their weapons in general. A researcher named Hassan says that this is part of why the Iran deal was ultimately destroyed by Trump in 2018, and also part of why we are at war right now. Now that you see how much power they have, let's talk about how they use their money to control our elections. Open Secrets found that they spent over $51 million in the 2024 election alone. $42 million went to campaigns, and $37 went to something called outside spending. You might ask, what is outside spending? Outside spending means that they can run their own ads or campaigns against other politicians that they don't like, completely unsupervised or restricted. So who are they going after with all this money? They're going after anyone that disagrees with the policies they're trying to push. A researcher named Here from The Nation found that they spent millions to take out Bowman and Bush out of the race for questioning U.S. support of Israel. They also spent $2 million going after a man named Malinowski just for suggesting that maybe we should cut back on aid towards Israel. The worst part is that they run these ads without telling voters who's actually paying for them. Everyday people like you and me are being influenced by secret money, and we have no idea that it's happening. So let's talk about what we can actually do to stop this. How can we prevent this? The good news is that we already have a way to prevent this. The bad news, it might as well just be a suggestion. Robinson from the Duke Law Journal found that this law is called FARA, FARA. It makes sure that any group that is pushing a foreign government's agenda must share who's funding them and why. Where's the money going? Not once has AIPAC followed this law, even though by every definition, they absolutely should. If the FARA law actually got enforced, AIPAC would actually have to register as a foreign agent and show everyone where their money comes from and where it's being used. Some people could say, oh, lobbying is legal, and this is free speech. And they're right, that lobbying is legal. But Robinson makes a really important point, that AIPAC isn't representing Americans. They're representing a foreign government. And they're playing games in our politics because of the the absurd amounts of money that they donate. To sum everything up, AIPAC has built a ton of political power in Washington. They spent tens of millions of dollars to protect their power, and the existing law that's supposed to prevent this is rendered useless. Most people have never even heard of AIPAC, and that's why it's still happening today. Now you do, and that's what matters. Every time the US makes a big foreign policy decision, question why it really happened.